Hey y'all, this is Tyler Blake from tylerblakeart.com, and this week I'm continuing on with the zombification of Tom Cruise. I did clean this up and I added in a little bit of pencil shading just so I would have something to go on this week with the inking, and also sometimes if I'm working on a portrait and I only have the lines down, sometimes I just can't tell if it looks right without a little bit of shading to give volume. Anyway, I'll be using my Pentel brush pen and Copic multiliners depending on where I get to. So I'll just go ahead and get started. It's important to keep in mind your line weight. And actually, if you're gonna try out these brush pens, if you haven't yet, it's not a bad idea to just do some warm up lines. But like I haven't really inked anything for at least a week now, so just to kind of dial in how much pressure you want to use for different things. Okay. So, and then the other thing, if I find a lot of the time when I'm first kind of getting started warming up, I might go a little bit heavier than what I had intended. So it's not a bad idea to start with areas that are going to be mostly black, like in this case, like some of the darker areas of the hair and the eyebrows. If I go a little bit darker than I had intended, or a little bit thicker line weight, it's going to be in a black area anyway, and it won't matter. So that's a good place to warm up on. So okay, so let's do this. I need help, y'all. What I was gonna do, what I like to do a lot, is when I'm drawing something that I'm going to ink and then color, I'll draw it, I'll scan it, and then I'll use GIMP, which is a free graphics program that you can just download. I'll convert it to blue line and then print it out, and I'll ink the blue line. And that way I still have my original pencil drawing. Like, this isn't as clean as I would normally draw in pencil, but the so anyway, my printer is evidently toast. It's an HP Pavilion 8610, I want to say, and it won't do anything except for turn on. And it's not, it won't print from my laptop and it won't print from my tablet. I'm not a tech guy. I'm an art nerd. Watching me try to fix a computer related problem is kind of like watching a monkey try to figure out a Rubik's Cube. So anyway, if anybody has suggestions for what's a good printer, especially for somebody who is going to be using it to, actually what I would love is a printer scanner that has a larger bed for the scanner. So, if I could print out a little bit larger format stuff like 11 by 17, that would be awesome. And especially if it was something that I could afford. So if anybody has, experience with anything like that, I would absolutely love to hear from y'all in the comments section. So, anyway, since my printer decided to crap out, I could not print this out in blue line, and I'm just going to have to ink over my original pencil. Since this is just an exercise on YouTube, and it's not something that, it's not something that I'm probably going to ever try to sell on my website, or it's not something that somebody paid me money for, that's okay. If it was something that someone had commissioned me to do, I would probably just go ahead and go out and buy a new printer before I moved forward. But anyway. If anybody out there is thinking I would really like to learn how to ink well, I take classes on with the School of Visual Storytelling, so it's their website is svslearn.com. Jake Parker has an excellent class on inking. He covers technical pens and brush pens, and they give you exercises that pages that you can download to practice on, and you just kind of ink along with him. And he has like different techniques, which I'm not going to reveal because that's their thing. But they have a lot of great classes on SVS Learn, and I'm not affiliated with them except as a student. Like they didn't pay me money to talk about them on video or anything like that. So it's fairly recently that I've taken more of an interest in ink. I kind of did off and on here and there, and then I started to get more serious about it within about the last year and a half or so. I did Inktober for the first time in 2016, and that was I had a lot of fun with that. You see right there, I went a little bit thicker than I meant to. If anybody else out there that's watching this has a YouTube channel, I would be curious. Do you ever get camera shy or nervous when it's a little bit different just doing this stuff when you're by yourself? You're with your wife or whatever, and But there's something about having the camera on and knowing that people are gonna watch it that does it's a little different. Well, I have found that to be the case anyway. In case anybody's wondering about the highlights on the eyes, I'm going to go back in and add that later. So. I'm going to go ahead and block that in now. Does that show up? Yeah. And I was talking about the blue line printout earlier. For anybody who's not familiar with that, the reason for that is that if you print it in blue and then ink it in black, when you scan it, you can scan it in black and white, and it won't read the blue. So then you don't have to go back and erase all the pencil lines, which is pretty great. So a lot of the time what I'll do, like, this is what I did with Zombie Hillary and Zombie Trump, was I drew it in pencil. And this was before I actually have found blue mechanical pencil lead, because I always draw with mechanical pencil. So I found blue mechanical pencil lead, which is pretty rad. But anyway, so now, with that, I don't have to draw it in pencil and then scan it and convert it to blue line and print it out. I can just draw it in blue, which, works out quite well. But anyway, with this, when I'm done with the inking part, I'm going to have to go back and erase over everything to get all the pencil smudges out. So that's not so great, but I'll live. I've done it many, many times before. So... Sorry. They say you're not supposed to laugh at your own jokes, but sometimes I just can't help myself. So, I'm coming up on my 15-minute time limit, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this now, and I'll just continue right away.